Well, it looks like we could be in store for some nasty weather tomorrow, Sunday, April 12th. My name is Christopher Bennett with the National Weather Service here in Slidell, Louisiana, and this is a severe weather briefing provided at 2 p.m. on Saturday, April 11th. Real quick overview, we do have the entire area outlooked for severe weather, anywhere from a slight risk, which is level 2 of 5, all the way up to a moderate risk, which is level 4 of 5. That moderate risk is for portions mainly of southwest Mississippi and the adjacent Louisiana parishes and northern Florida parishes. And then we have an enhanced risk for mainly the I-10-12 corridors, and then that slight risk is for coastal southeast Louisiana. There's some uncertainty that lies in this forecast right now, but it looks like we could see possibility of two separate severe weather events tomorrow. The first batch of storms, which could develop late tomorrow morning through the early to mid-afternoon hours, has the best chance of producing what we call significant severe. That would be tornadoes that are EF2 or greater in strength, wind up to 75 miles an hour or stronger, and then large hail, which would be 2 inches diameter or greater. The main risk for tornadoes and large hail is that first batch of storms, that if it does develop, would be kind of that late morning to early to mid-afternoon hours. The second risk would be as thunderstorms try to congeal into a squall line during the kind of mid-afternoon hours, and that squall line would move through the remainder of our outlook area during the late afternoon and throughout the evening hours. The main threat with that squall line would be damaging winds, but obviously we can't rule out tornadoes with a squall line down here, and there could be some small hail along with that as well. Additional threats for our area, we do have a wind advisory now that's out for the entire area, which is all of southeast Louisiana, southwest Mississippi, and coastal Mississippi. For tomorrow, we're looking for sustained winds at 20 to 25 miles an hour and gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and that is outside of any thunderstorms. That's just what we call gradient winds. The other issue we have is high tides. High tide is going to coincide with the strongest winds tomorrow, and that will mainly be during the afternoon, kind of maybe early evening hours. The combination of that high tide and the strong southerly winds could cause tides to be 1 to 2 feet above normal, especially on south-facing shores, maybe even some southeast-facing shores. As we look at our threat levels here, you can see that we are expecting damaging winds, tornadoes, and hail. That's all in that kind of moderate risk. The flash flood risk is kind of at a low end right now. We're not really as concerned with the threat of flash flooding, but we can't rule it out completely. The forecast counts, as you see, is only about 5-6. The main reason for that is because we are just a little unsure if we're going to get that first batch of storms. If any of those storms do develop in that first batch, that is our greatest concern right now for significant severe weather. But if we get a couple things that keep those storms from developing, then we're just waiting on the main line to move through here. So the confidence is, kind of that halfway mark right now for if we get two, separate events, or if we just get one event with mainly just damaging winds. Again, I would like to point out, if we do get that first event, the risk for tornadoes and hail definitely increases with those storms. As you can see, here's our severe weather outlook. This hasn't changed from earlier today. This is the day 2 right now, so we're looking at what we expect on Sunday. As you can see across southwest Mississippi and the adjacent Louisiana parishes, there is that moderate risk. And then you have the enhanced risk for I-10, the I-12 corridors. It's that enhanced and that moderate risk that we're really concerned with those significant severe impacts. So these tornadoes, any developing that first batch, could be strong, and they could even be what we call long duration tornadoes. Also hail, which we don't really get often down here, very large hail. Those early storms could provide some significant hail as well, so you're looking at hail that could be up to 2 inches or greater in diameter. And then as you go closer to the coast, we're looking at just a slight risk. Can't rule out tornadoes, obviously, down there, but our severe risk is not as great down there on coastal Louisiana. Excessive rainfall outlook, just want to show you this right now because normally we always have to worry about flash flooding with any thunderstorms. These storms will be efficient. We'll be able to drop a lot of rain in a short amount of time, but these storms are also going to be moving really fast. And as you can see in this outlook, we only have a marginal risk for excessive rainfall, and it's mainly across southwest Mississippi and the adjacent Louisiana parishes. The next graphic you see is our storm total rainfall graphic. As you can see, we're, again, not really looking at much in the way of rainfall, maybe at ½ inch to 1.5 inches. Obviously, some locally higher amounts are possible, especially where any of those stronger thunderstorms do move, and if a couple of them move over the same area. But again, flash flooding is not our main concern tomorrow. And this is our kind of current severe weather timing. This is another one of those kind of up in the air uncertainty. As you can see, we've got 3 separate areas we're highlighting right now. We do have, kind of a longer range that we're looking at for certain areas. As you can see, the darker gray, Area 1, which does include the Baton Rouge metro area, we're seeing severe weather that could be anywhere between 11 a.m. and maybe as late as 5 p.m. tomorrow. That would be with those, again, if we do get 2 batches. If we don't get showers, thunderstorms will develop, kind of early in the day, around like late morning and the early afternoon, then the Baton Rouge area may be looking more just for the storms to move in kind of that mid-afternoon hours. Across like I-55, you're looking at Macomb, the North Shore, the South Shore, New Orleans, Houma. That's in that time frame between 1 and 8 p.m. tomorrow. We're looking at, again, that's an area that could see the two batches of storms as well. So just a lot depends on if we get that early development. And then Area 3 is mainly coastal Mississippi and extreme coastal southeast Louisiana. We are right now not expecting much in the way at that area. We're not expecting storms to really fire out way out ahead of the main line. So that area is probably going to hold off until kind of that late afternoon and mainly during the evening hours as the squall line tries to move through here. So you're looking at that Area 3 looking more kind of like 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. tomorrow. Going to our next slide is the wind advisory. The wind advisory, which is in effect from 7 a.m. tomorrow through 10 p.m. tomorrow, covers our entire area. As you can see, the Mobile area issued one for theirs, and Lake Charles will issue one for southwest Louisiana as well. We're calling for winds around 20 to 25 miles an hour, sustained winds, and then wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. So if you have any unsecured items outside, especially any tents out there, I would definitely take them down, strap them down, because even just these winds outside of any thunderstorms will loft unsecured objects into the air and blow them down the street. And the last thing we really talk about is just this coastal flood advisory. Mainly, obviously, if you're inland, it's not an issue, but right there along the coast, especially like Waveland, Grand Isle, Shell Beach, Gulfport, Pascagoula areas, we're looking at tides that could be as much as 1 to 2 feet above normal. Again, that high tide tomorrow is going to coincide with these really strong winds, so it's going to easily bring some of these higher waves and push the water in towards the coast. So any of these south-facing shores, you look for tides tomorrow to be 1 to 2 feet above normal, some minor coastal flooding possible. And going to our summary of impacts real quick. Mention again, severe weather is expected across the entire area. We have multiple risks across the region. Our greatest impacts look to be along the I-10-12 corridors and north, which are both which is in the enhanced risk, and then that moderate risk, which is in southwest Mississippi and adjacent Louisiana parishes. And we do have that slight risk that's on the extreme southeast Louisiana coast. Possible 2 kind of different events tomorrow, batches of severe thunderstorms. The biggest thing is kind of lower confidence is on that first batch. Again, I mentioned, if we do get thunderstorms develop in that kind of that late morning or early afternoon time frame, those have the potential to provide the most significant severe weather. Again, those will have the potential to produce strong tornadoes, possible long duration tornadoes, and then very large hail. If we don't get that, or we're just waiting for that second batch of storms, which would be a squall line, as we expect these storms to kind of congeal into a line, that looks to be more during the mid-afternoon and then pushing through our area throughout the afternoon and the evening hours. The main issues with those would be damaging winds, and then we can't rule out possible tornado or small hail with that line. And then additional threats, again, is that wind advisory and coastal flood advisory. Thank you very much, and everybody have a great day, and make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings, and be on the lookout for additional information later today and tomorrow morning.